What's up, Heat Digest Nation? Things are getting interesting, and we're only 5 games into the regular season. These next 3 games, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Denver, very, very important. And there's a specific player that I'm gonna highlight here as to why it is important and how he can really elevate his status in the association after these next 7 days. But before we do that, let's make sure we're subscribing and making sure that we understand this Heat Digest family is ever growing. And if you don't want to get lost when this thing really hits the ground running, you want to subscribe now. With that being said, let's talk about the name of this week. The name of these next 7 days, these next 3 games, it's going to be none other than Bam Week. Bam Week, because Bam Adebayo, he needs to show what we all believe he is. That is the 3rd best center in the association. He's got 3 matchups, and I think he can dominate all of them, but in different ways, and that's where he's going to be able to solidify himself as the 3rd best center in the association. First matchup coming up, Mr. Domantas Sabonis, Sacramento Kings. Domantas right now averaging 21, 13, and 6 assists. Those 13 rebounds, that leads the association, and that's where I want to focus on. Right now, the Miami Heat, they are not a good rebounding team. I'm going to call it how I see it. I don't feel like they are really there yet. That's the biggest glaring hole in the Miami Heat's offense and defense for that matter. They've played 5 games. They're 3-2. They're above 500. That's great. But they've been out-rebounded in all but 1 game. And the 1 game that they were not out-rebounded in was their best game of the season against the Washington Wizards, where Bam also had a 30-point performance. Those things are not, a coincidence. Those things go hand in hand. When Bam has a great game, this case it was scoring, but just a great game in general to go along with 14 rebounds, and the Miami Heat are able to rebound the ball at a very, very good rate, things are going to go well for this Miami Heat team. The Sacramento Kings are in a similar situation with the Miami Heat, where they also have been out-rebounded more times than not in this young season in the 6 games that they have played, as right now they are 3-3. But Sacramento right now has a little bit of an edge because their interior presence is a lot more daunting, is a lot more intimidating than what the Miami Heat can offer. The Miami Heat right now, they need help. It's not coming just yet. Kevin Love is ramping up to possibly join the Miami Heat. He will be with them on this road trip, but to join them on the court at some time in these next 6 games, Khalil Ware might finally get some more burn this time around, because Bam, the load that he's going to have to carry right now for this next week is going to be massive, so he's going to need some type of rest one way or another. In the end, though, this specific matchup against the Miami Heat for Sacramento Kings, I need to see the Miami Heat, and specifically Bam Adebayo, rebound the ball at a very, very good rate. You're going against the number 1 rebounder in the association. I don't know if you're going to be able to get 14 again. It's completely within the realm of possibility, but I would rather Bam try and get a situation where 8 to 10 rebounds and just really, really crash that glass and control what Domantas Sabonis can do on the offense and defensive glass. In the end, the Miami Heat need to make sure that Domantas Sabonis is not a factor, specifically Bam Adebayo. You control what Sabonis can do on the offensive and defensive boards, you are going to put yourself in the best position to win this game. And then, yes, there are other factors. You have Jimmy Butler going against DeMar DeRozan. You've got Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, since Kevin Huerter will be out due to an illness, I believe, against Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier. There's a lot of matches that we can talk about here, but it all stems from what the interior bigs are going to do. And next factor, I will say, Duncan Robinson. Why? He hasn't had the best shooting start to the season from the 3-point line. He is getting up 5 attempts, but he's not necessarily hitting them at the clip he would like. The Sacramento Kings are not the best at guarding a 3-point shot. Miami Heat, 12th in the association at getting up 3-point attempts at about 38 a game, shooting at a 37% clip. So I think that could be something that, again, Bam can definitely impact. Get second chance opportunities. Best time to get a 3-point shot, off an offensive rebound. Find a Duncan Robinson. Find a Tyler Hero. Find a Terry Rozier. Now you're going with maybe 8 to 10 rebounds, maybe 5 to 6 assists. You are showing that you can impact the game in multiple ways aside from just scoring the basketball. So, Bam, I'm looking at you to try and do something that we know you can do, and that's control the rebound battle for your team. We move now from Sacramento over to Phoenix, Arizona. This is a big one for the Miami Heat. Again, Bam Adebayo is going to be the focal point for this one. Why? I believe Bam can dominate. I could even see a 30-point performance again, because you're going up against Jusuf Nurkic, who is a very, very suitable starting center in the association. Don't want to say that Jusuf Nurkic is a bad player. He's a very, very good starting center. But I do believe Bam Adebayo is a better player flat out. last game or the game against Sacramento, rebounding is going to be the name of the game. For me, in this game against Phoenix, I want to see Bam Adebayo go at Jusuf Nurkic. I want to see the Miami Heat run their offense through Bam. Now, what I mean by that is I want to see Bam get as many touches as possible. I want to see him flirt with a 30-point performance. I want to see him at least get 20 points because he can definitely just dominate his matchup against Jusuf Nurkic. And now we've got a game where Bam is showing he can rebound the ball with the best of them. And now a game where he's showing if he is faced with a mismatch, in this case Jusuf Nurkic, because he just can't keep up with Bam in his speed and athleticism, you need to understand what he can do to you on any given night. He can put up 20 to 25 points a game, maybe 22 points a game on a consistent basis. You can pen that in, not even pencil it. Pen that in. That's a very, very big thing for the Miami Heat to see from Bam Adebayo. Second thing for the Phoenix game, the three-point shot, specifically guarding against it. I mentioned how the Kings are not that good at guarding it. The Phoenix Suns are very, very good at shooting the ball from the three-point line. They're about 6th in the association right now. They have really found themselves because of the addition of Tyus Jones. So the Miami Heat need to understand that Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are going to get a lot of opportunities. Right now, that trio is averaging just under 70 points per game out of the team's 113. So you need to understand that the defense is going to be tested. Looking at Bam again, if Bam can be a focal point as a great backline defender, he can allow Hero, Rozier, Butler, Hyman to really put pressure on the shooters and not be afraid to run them off the line, send them to Bam, and we get nice wall-ups, no fouls, stay on the ground, be physical, contest everything around the rim, clean up those rebounds, and now we can get out and run in transition, which is where the Miami Heat are the best when we talk about the offensive side of things. In the end, for Phoenix specifically, I want to see Bam dominate offensively by scoring the ball, putting pressure on the rim, maybe even getting a three-pointer up. He's never actually shot a three-pointer against Jusuf Nurkic. That's the fun fact for the day for you. So I definitely think he's going to get that attempt up, and I think he can get some easy ones because I don't think Jusuf Nurkic is going to want to step out and guard him on the perimeter simply because you can't move with Bam. Bam is too quick and too fast for Jusuf Nurkic to play laterally, so I think Bam's going to be able to get downhill, get to his bag, really show the skill set that he has as a undersized center, more of a 4, playing that 5 position. So we've talked about Sacramento, we've talked about Phoenix. Now we're going to talk about the last game in this video, and that is, of course, none other than the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets right now, who I believe are having a slow start by any stretch of the imagination. They are right now 3-3. They do play Toronto tonight as I'm recording this, so that's going to be a good test for the Nuggets. We talked about Bam being a rebounder. We talked about Bam being an offensive scoring threat. This game against Jokic, specifically Jokic, I need to see him be Jokic. Not be exactly like Nikola Jokic, because we're talking about the best player in the association. I'm talking about what Jokic can do, and that is everything. I think this is the game where Bam shows he can adjust to what his team needs. He needs him to score for a couple of possessions in a row. He can do that. He needs them to defend and rebound the ball. He can do that. He needs them to play make. He can do that. I think specifically that last one. Obviously, the Denver Nuggets run their offense through Nikola Jokic. But right now, the Denver bench and depth are not at what they usually are. Obviously, Michael Porter Jr. even saying that this might be the last year for the core. Jamal Murray being a really liability, might even say right now, for the offense because he's the only starter not shooting over 40% right now. The Miami Heat as a bench, specifically their bench, they're putting up 29.4 points per game. Almost 30 points per game are coming from the bench, which is great. The Denver Nuggets, they're at 25 points per game. That's a big, big gap in there. So Bam obviously does run a lot with the second unit. If he shows his ability to play make, get players open, get a Jaquez open, get a Robinson open, get even a Drew Smith, a Haywood Highsmith, get these players some touches in the second unit, a Thomas Bryant. Show that you can facilitate an offense from that high post area, from the elbow, from the low block. I think you see the just elevated IQ of a Bam Adebayo that I think might be his most underrated part of his game. A very, very underrated passer. A player that I think could be up there right now. He's not averaging the best in the assists. Obviously, last game had 2. That's about what his average is. I think if Bam Adebayo is averaging 4 to 5 assists a game to go along with 8 to 10 rebounds and get those points per game up to 18, not even 20, just give me 18, I think you're going to be in great shape if you're a Miami Heat fan, if you're a Miami Heat player, if you're an organizational member. That's what you envisioned when you drafted Bam in the lottery. When you saw him in Kentucky and said, this kid, this guy is going to develop into one of the best centers in the association with time and with reps. Bam Adebayo, this is your week. This is Bam week. Again, you look at the schedule in front of us: Sacramento, Phoenix, Denver, Minnesota, Detroit, Indiana. Those first 3 games will be the calling card for the rest of the week, for the rest of these games. Miami can go 3-0, and I want them to go 3-0. I know they will go 3-0. The Miami Heat will go 3-0, but if and only if Bam Adebayo does what Bam Adebayo does best, and that is impact the game in multiple ways, but do it at a high level. Again, when we talk about the Sacramento matchup, Bam right now, he's scoring at a 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists rate against Domantas Sabonis since he joined in Sacramento with the Kings. Then when we talk about Phoenix, we see that Bam Adebayo against Yusuf Nurkic, he's had a situation where he's putting up 14 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. But since Nurkic joined Phoenix, he's putting up 18 and 10. So he's been able to show these past few seasons, these past few matchups against these 2 teams, that he knows how to impose his will. And even against a Nikola Jokic in Denver, we see Bam has put up 14, 7, and 2, shooting 45% from the field in 14 games against the Joker. Bam Adebayo, this is your week. This is Bam week. From November 4th until November 11th, maybe even November 12th and 13th. This is Bam week, and we are very, very excited for what you have in store for us. Leave it down in the comments what you think the record will be for the Miami Heat from these next 3 games against Sacramento, Denver, and Phoenix. With that being said, we hope to see you in the next one. And Bam, as a matter of fact, everybody, have a happy Bam week.